In this tutorial, we'll be learning how to set up the Dreamweaver environment to run PHP files. In order to do that, we have to first set up the Apache server, which you already have done last week using XAMPP. So you're going to open the XAMPP control panel. As you can see, even though I have the control panel and I can see my Apache is not running, so we'll have to just click on start to make sure that Apache is up and running. Also, since our PHP will communicate with MySQL database, we have to start our MySQL as well. Once these two done, we need to see whether our database is up and running. As from the last class, we already have created a database called University. Our today's objective will be using Dreamweaver. We'll be creating a form, and through that form we'll be inserting data into the staff table of the University database. So let's have a look at our database first by clicking on the admin button of MySQL. Once I click on that, as you can see, the PHP MyAdmin opens up, and we can click on this little plus sign to expand the University database, and we can see we have a staff table already. And we click on the staff table, we get to see some data already inserted for us. I can see 4 records are inserted. These are the column names. So to get a better view of the structure of the table, we can click on structure, and we'll leave it like that for now because you can see all the column names very clearly. So it seems like our database is up and running, so we can minimize that. We also can minimize the XAMPP control panel. The second thing we have to do, since the file we will be creating, those files we have to keep in a special folder within the XAMPP environment. So when we install XAMPP, we actually install XAMPP in our C drive. As you can see the XAMPP here. So there is a special folder within the XAMPP folder called htdocs. This is very important because now on all of our PHP project will reside inside this htdoc folder. So every time we create a project, we'll be keeping it inside the htdocs folder. So we click on htdocs folder. As you can see, a lot of project already there. So I'm going to create a new project, and I'm going to call it University. Just a name, you can give it any name you like. Highly likely you'll be giving a name that associate with your project. So at the moment I have created a folder, a directory called University, and at the moment inside this directory there is no file. So the two things we have done before we go to the Dreamweaver is we have started XAMPP control panel, and we have checked whether we have started our servers and checked whether our database is up and running or not, and we have any table there, and the table's structure is ready for us to insert the data or not. Since these two steps completed, we can now open Dreamweaver. So we can go to all program, that will be Dreamweaver CS6. We open that and fire up Dreamweaver. And before we do anything, we have to set up the site. So we go to the site menu, we click on new site. On this site, on your left, you can see a site server. So all we have to do, we have to set up these two options. On the site options, you can see a site name. So I'm going to call it University. So my site name will be university, and the original file that I'll be keeping it should be, usually I can click on this browse button, and then I can actually go to computer, go to C drive, XAMPP, htdoc, and then I select university. I click on open and then select. So the site setup has been pretty much done. Now we're going to set up our server, testing server. So I click on server button, and here we have a little plus sign to add new server. I click on that, and I can see server name. It is asking for server name, so I'm going to keep same name like university. And since we will be connecting the local host, so we have to change the FTP to localhost. Once I select localhost, as you can see, it is looking for the folder that where our actual file will be located. So I click on the browse button again, and this time it is already taking me to that folder, because in the site folder we already have mentioned that. However, if you don't see this university, you can always go to C drive and then XAMPP, htdocs, and then browse to the university. So you select that. Now on, we'll keep our files here, PHP files in this directory. We click on select. The last bit we have to do is to set up our web URL. In this case, it will be localhost. If you upload your files to a remote server, you will have a different URL. For this case, it will be localhost, and then a /, and we write university, our folder name or directory name. So this is a complete URL, just like a website, because it started with HTTPS, and this is the physical path. So pretty much we are ready, and now we press OK. Once I press save, I can see there is a little button, little checkbox called testing. Make sure that you click there, so it will help us to test our server, our PHP coding. And I press save finally. Once this is done, you can see the site is been already visible here. So this is the preliminary setup that we have to do in order to run PHP script within the Dreamweaver environment. Now then, we have set up our server, we have set up our environment. Let's have a look whether our PHP is actually running or not. In order to test that, we click on file, we create a new file, and this time the file will be PHP. So I click on PHP. In the layout, for now I'll click none. We don't want any layout at the moment. And on the doc type, I would like to select HTML5, the latest version of HTML, and I click create, and that's create a simple file. Once I am in the file, I have to save this file, so I go to file, save, but make sure I select the university, which should be automatically selected for you. So I just give a name called testing, just to test, but make sure that the save as type should be PHP. So once you select that PHP, as you can see, the extension has been automatically added for you. So just save the file, and now it's time to write some cool PHP code. So let's click on coding, and I place my cursor between the body, start and end tag, and I'm about to write a simple PHP echo to see whether my PHP is running or not. So nothing much, just to print out hello world to see whether my PHP is running or not within the environment. So I can click on this little round button, which is the world button, and select the choice of my browser, or we can go to file, preview browser, do the same. So I click on Chrome, so I'll be testing on Chrome. And the Chrome, if you can see, the hello world has been printed without any problem. So that suggests that our PHP scripts running, and we successfully have set up the environment within the Dreamweaver. So that's our first tutorial. Just to recap, before you set up the environment within the Dreamweaver to run the PHP script, since PHP script is a dynamic script, we have to first run the Apache and MySQL, and then we have to set up our database. If your database is already set up, the second thing we have to do is create a folder within My Computer C, XAMPP, htdoc, very important folder, htdoc, and we create a folder of our choice, in this case university. As you can see, my testing file is within the university. Once these two done, then we go and set up our site. In case if you want to change something in the site, which you probably did by mistake, you have done some mistake, you can always go to manage site. That will bring up the university site. If you want to edit it, just select it, click on edit button. That will bring up the previous all setup information. This is the preliminary information of the site, and this is the server. If you want to edit something here, just select that, and this line will be activated. Click on edit to change any setting that you need to change. Thank you.